public education has just been something super important to me, both at a professional level, but also just a value I hold in seeing how it serves our society, our community, and our children. Hello, my name is Rachel Georgakis, and I am a member of the District 64 Board of Education. For me, when we think about public education, we serve all students that come to us, right? We serve our English language learners, we serve our special education students, newly arrived students, students who are above grade level, who need help getting to grade level, and students who are at grade level. And so everyone is welcome in a public school, and I think that's so important in this diverse, multicultural society that we live in, to make public schools really welcoming spaces that meet the needs of all of our individual students. I am a college and career counselor, but I am a certified school counselor and have worked as a generalist counselor, so where I had a caseload of students from 9th through 12th grade, and now I primarily work with juniors and seniors. But I think when we think about like how those education experiences now inform me, it's, you know, two different ways. As an educator, those relationship skills and how teachers make you feel when you walk into a classroom and how that makes you ready to learn, excited to learn, or scared to learn and ask questions. It's just always at the forefront of my mind of making sure my students feel welcome and know that it is always a safe space to learn and ask questions and to share who they are as their authentic selves. And I think that's something that was modeled for me in my education here. But then as a parent now, when I think back about it, it is too, it's about, you know, those skills of learning how to self-advocate and wanting my kids to have those self-advocacy skills, and learning that collaboration between everyone to support kids that now I see as a professional that I didn't maybe understand as a student, but understanding how everything works beyond the scenes, I think is kind of informing of my board role, of seeing like how all of that goes together to make that classroom experience for our students so powerful in terms of all the work that our teachers and district staff do. I'm a little bit biased because I grew up in Park Ridge and attended District 64 schools, and so I have the experience of being a student, and then also the experience of being now a parent and a community member. I think for me, what I really like about this district is just so much about the relationships that I see between faculty and families, the relationships I see between our teachers and their students, and the teachers working with each other. And so I think there's such a strong commitment to serving each children's needs here in District 64 and looking them as a whole child, their academic needs, their social emotional needs, and having that open dialogue among different stakeholders about how we can best serve them. I went to Washington Elementary School for kindergarten through 6th grade because it was before the middle school system was implemented. And then I went to Lincoln when it was still a junior high, before Emerson was built. Okay. So yeah, I had great experiences at both schools, and you know, those experiences are some of the things that brought my husband and I back to raise our family here. You know, when I first became an educator and I had my first classroom, it was my 3rd grade teacher from Washington who donated, when she was retiring, like her entire classroom library of books to me. And so those just long-lasting relationships that we have here in District 64 are really impactful, and make lifelong, you know, influence. And so those kind of things were a strong pull of knowing it's not, I know my kids are gonna get a great education, but I also know they're gonna have these meaningful, impactful relationships that are gonna help them grow into great, upstanding people, and that's so much more important to me than what their grades are on any report card. There's so many memories that I have. A few that stick out to me is in 6th grade science, we got to design our own experiments. And that was with Mr. O'Malley, who still teaches in District 64. And what I remember most about that is not the experiment I designed, but learning from my peers, because the way that it was set up is that we then presented all of our results to each other. And so that learning from my peers and that collaboration and offering the feedback about the projects was something that I still remember being really impactful. Another really impactful education experience to me was in junior high, now middle school, in social studies, we had to look back and learn about our own family's immigration story to the United States. And then I got a chance to interview my aunt and my mom, who immigrated and went through Ellis Island, about what that experience was, and then share that family story with my peers and learn from my peers about their family stories. And so there's just these strong threads of memory of learning from each other that I just think was really impactful and powerful. I am bilingual. I speak Spanish fluently, and so if any families in District 64 ever need someone to help speak Spanish, I'm happy to do that.
Okay, awesome. Did you just learn it here, or?
I took 2 years of high school Spanish, and then really it's been through immersion in certain work environments where I had a large proportion of ELL students and families that were Spanish speaking, and I needed to learn the language to support my students and families. And so that is how that happened. And so my grammar's not perfect, and you wouldn't want me to write a paper for you, but that communication piece is there. My daughter and I do a monthly mom and daughter book club where she chooses the book every month, and then we read it together, and then we go somewhere special to talk. And so that's been a really great way to learn about like how she thinks about the world and to share that special time together. I was, I don't know, in middle school, I guess. My family, this is, you know, when I was a kid, my family went and hiked down the Grand Canyon. So we hiked down and we stayed on the Havasupai Nation land, and we hiked to these like amazing waterfalls, and that was just like still one of the best experiences that I've ever had. Yeah,
that's amazing.
So I mean, we do other places now, but you know, with a 4 and 8-year-old, we are not doing very much longer than like the 4-year-old can do a 2-mile hike, and that's about it. So as a family, like still great things that we've seen, and gone to the Smokies with them and to Pisgah National Forest, and you know, Starved Rock nearby. But yeah, it's kind of a goal of trying to hit a national park every year.